co-prime factorization. Consider a real rational number. A real rational number. What do you mean by rational number? One which has a numerator and a denominator. Okay. R equals n by d. Okay. So where what is n and d? They are just two integers, right? When will you say that they are co-prime? When will you say that these two are co-prime? Tell me. What do you mean by co-prime?
Only one common factor.
Sorry?
Only one common factor.
The greatest common divisor is 1. Okay. Say for example 3 by 5. What's the greatest common divisor of the numerator denominator? It is 1 only. Right? 3 into 1 by 5 into 1. There is no other common factor. Okay. Then we say that the two numbers are co-prime. Right? If the greatest common divisor of the pair of integers d comma n is 1, then d and n are said to be co-prime. Okay. What is the significance of this co-primeness? When we discuss transfer function stability, we look for whether that numerator polynomial and denominator polynomial are co-prime. Okay. Because say for example, you may have some transfer function like this. Say for example, s plus 2 divided by s plus 3 into s minus 3 divided by s minus 3. Okay. So here you can see this s minus 3 in the denominator will make the system unstable. Right. And this numerator, we have a 0 in the right of the s plane. Right. So this 0 at plus 3 and ball at plus 3 will cancel each other. Okay. So we need to make sure that this so all that in all the cases this may not be visible actually. Okay. In all the cases we may not be aware of whether the system is having a unstable pole or not, because as I said before, it is robust, right? There can be changes, there can be uncertainties, there can be parameter uncertainties, because of which sometimes the pole may get shifted to the right of the s plane, right? So co-primeness will ensure that there are no unknown or internal pole through cancellation because of having common factors in the numerator and denominator. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so co-primeness will ensure that your transfer function do not have any hidden unstable poles or cancellation. That's the purpose of co-prime factorization. Okay. Are said to be co-prime, right? If a pair of integers d comma n is co-prime, then there exists a row vector of two integers, x hat such that x hat y hat into dn equal to 1. Okay, so this identity is called Bezout identity. Okay, so if d and n is co-prime, then there always exists a row vector of two integers x and y, so that x hat d plus y hat n equal to 1. Okay, so this x hat y hat is called the left. X hat y hat is called the left inverse. of D and N. Okay. Say for example, in this case, R equal to, say for example, R equal to 3 by 2. Okay. If it is co-prime, then you can always see that there will be an x hat and y hat, so that this identity is equal to 1. Okay. Say for example, this will be what then? D is 2 and this is 3. Okay. Must be equal to 1. So this must be minus 1 into 2 and plus 1 into 3 equal to 1. Okay. So it means that 3 and 2 are co-prime. Okay. Hence, 3 and 2 are co-prime. Okay. So you see, this co-prime factorization is not unique. Okay. There can be there can be other possible combinations also. Okay. 6 by 4, is it co-prime?
No, sir.
No. Why? Because 3 into 2 and 2 into 2. So, okay, they have a common factor of 2 in the numerator denominator. Okay. So these two are not co-prime. Okay. Whereas 3 by 2 is a co-prime. Okay. Now this concept can be extended to two polynomials. Two polynomials are said to be co-prime if they do not share common zeros. If they do not share common zeros. Okay. Thus, D of S, N of S, where D of S and N of S are two polynomials, are co-prime if and only if there exists two polynomials X of S and Y of S such that X of S D of S plus Y of S N of S equal to 1. Okay. What is that called? That is the Bezout identity. Okay. This is applicable whether X and Y are polynomials or X and Y are integers. Okay. So this identity should hold good. Okay. Then we say that the two polynomials X of S and Y of S are co-prime. Say for example, F of S equal to say S plus 1 by S plus 2. Are they co-prime? Are they co-prime? Yes. Why? Because they do not have any a common zeros in the numerator and denominator. Okay. And what will be your X and Y here correspondingly? Tell me what could be possible X and Y. So denominator is S plus 2 and this is S plus 1. What could be the possible X and Y here? Tell me.
1 minus 1.
Sorry.
1 minus 1.
What?
1 and minus 1.
1 and minus 1. 1 and minus 1. So what do you get? S plus 2 minus S minus 1. You have to find a polynomial actually. X of S, Y of S. Okay, Chaitanya. 1 and minus 1 are not polynomials. What could be a possible thing? One possibility could be, what? S and S plus 1. Is it correct? What will you get? S square plus 2S. Oh, no.
Sir, minus S.
Minus S, correct. Minus S, right? Minus S and S plus 1. Okay. So minus S square minus 2S plus S square plus 2S plus 1. So my square is correct. Okay. So this is a co-prime factorization. Okay. So what's the advantage of being co-prime? The rational function is further irreducible. Okay. If two polynomials, you cannot reduce them further. if two polynomials d of s and n of s are co-prime, then the rational function n of s by d of s is irreducible. So this ensures that there are no hidden poles or cancellations. Okay, because always we will not know the system dynamics to the perfect. We won't have perfect knowledge about system dynamics. Okay, there may be some hidden modes or some hidden dynamics, right? So ensuring that the transfer function is co-prime will make sure that there are no hidden cancellation of dynamics. Okay, consider another example: s square plus 5s plus 6 divided by s square plus 4s plus 3. What can you say about this thing? Is are n of s and d of s co-prime? Are n of s and d of s co-prime? How can we write this? S plus 2 into s plus 3. Okay, and how can we write this? S plus 1 into s plus 3. Right? S square plus 4s plus 3. So that means you have a common zeros. Okay, numerator and denominator has common zeros at s is equal to minus 3. Right? So this is not co-prime. Okay, so n of s and d of s are not co-prime. Are not co-prime. Okay. Co-prime factorization of a rational function needs to be considered. Needs to be considered when stability issue of a transfer function is to be considered. Of a transfer function is to be considered. Okay, two stable rational functions m of s and n of s are co-prime because you see this transfer function concept can be extended to a MIMO case wherein you will have transfer metrics. Okay, so we have to extend this idea to that MIMO system. That's why we are taking it step by step. First we consider two integers, then we consider two polynomials. Now we are considering two rational functions. Okay, are co-prime if there exists two stable rational functions, x hat of s, y hat of s, such that what's the condition? Such that x of s, y hat of s into m of s, n of s equal to 1. Okay, this is what is called equal to I, not 1i, because we are considering now matrices. This is what is called the Bezout identity. Okay, so long as this satisfies Bezout identity, we can make sure that m of s and n of s are co-prime. Okay, for example, consider you have a transfer function t of s equals s minus 2 divided by s minus 3. Okay, how can we find co-prime factorization of this as a stable rational function? How can we find that? Tell me, is the transfer function stable right now?
No, sir.
No, because why? Because it has a pole in the right half of the S-plane. Okay, so how can we find two stable rational functions, so that they are co-prime? Suppose this is n of s by m of s. Okay, so what can be one possible m of s and n of s? How can we select that? Come on, make an attempt. N of s may be what? say s minus 2 by s plus 1. Okay, as an example. That's why I told you coprime factors is not unique. Okay, what could be m of s in that case? What could be m of s?
S minus 3 by S plus
S
1.
minus 3 divided by
S plus 1.
s plus 1. Okay, two stable rational functions are coprime if there exist two stable rational functions, x hat of s and y hat of s. Okay, so you see what is the where is the pole of n of s? It is at -1. So n of s is stable. Where is the pole of m of s? It is again at s is equal to -1. So they are stable. So we were able to find two stable rational functions so that this identity this identity holds good. Okay, are you getting me? So the actual unstable transfer function has now been converted into two coprime factors. Two coprime factors, stable coprime factors, n of s and m of s. Okay. So m of s and n of s are stable, are both stable. Okay. So if you want, you can take this as s minus 2 by s plus 3. This as s minus 3 by s plus 3. That is also stable. Okay. That's also stable because here the pole set -3 and here also the pole set -3. Right? That is why coprime factors is not unique. Okay, there can be many possible combinations. Okay. So m of s and n of s are both stable and they are coprime. Over stable transfer functions. Since there exists, can you find what are this x hat and y hat? S minus 3 by s plus 1 and this is s minus 2 by s plus 1. Can you find what are your x hat and y hat? Is it possible? Hmm?
Sir, minus s plus 1 and s plus 1.
Wait, minus s plus 1 divided by what?
No, sir, sir, this one only. Sir, minus of s plus 1 and s plus 1.
1 minute. Minus of s plus 1 plus n. Minus of
Sir, bracket s plus 1 and the second one only s plus 1.
second one only s plus 1. See, you are not getting the point yet. There should be two stable rational functions. What do you mean by rational function?
Denominator.
It should have a numerator as well as a denominator.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Okay, here the denominator is 1. So for example, one example could be like this: minus 4s minus 1 by s plus 1 and 5s plus 1 by s plus 1. This is fine. Just verify whether it's equal to 1. This is one possible combination. Okay, keep in mind, coprime factorizations are not unique because you can find any x hat and any y hat that satisfy this identity. Okay, this is called Bezout identity. Can you find, does this hold good? Is this identity valid?
Yes, sir. It's
Yes,
possible.
sir.
Okay, so you can say that your M and N are coprime. Okay, this is what is called Besson identity. So whenever you have any doubt, you just check whether Besson identity is satisfied or not. Okay, once it is satisfied, you can make sure that you can tell that M and N are both coprime. Okay, so coprime factors is not unique. Is not unique. Because there can be any number of combinations. Okay, we just consider S plus 1. It may be S plus 2 or S plus 3 or S plus 4 and so on. Okay, so it is not unique. Fine. Now, given a transfer function matrix, given a transfer function matrix T of S, the basic problem is to find 4 transfer function matrices, 4 transfer function matrices, N of S, M of S, M hat of S, and N hat of S. I will explain what this is. Just give me a moment. Hat of S. In RH infinity space. What do you mean by RH infinity space? It means that the space of stable proper rational function. That's the meaning. Okay. RH infinity means the space of stable proper rational function. Okay. That means you have to consider the left half of the S plane. Right. So your polynomials must be in the left half of the S plane. That's the meaning. Okay. Stable rational stable proper rational functions space, rational function space. That's the meaning of this thing. Okay, RH infinity. So if you go through Robert's Carnot textbook, you will find this kind of notation, RH infinity and so on, such that T of S equals N of S M inverse of S. Or this will be the same thing can be written in another way. M inverse of S N tilde of S. Okay, so this is called, this pair M of S and N of S is called right coprime factor, and the pair N hat M tilde, that is called left coprime factors. Okay, where the pair M of S comma N of S is the right coprime factor. Is the right coprime factor. And M tilde of S, N tilde of S is the left coprime factor. Okay, because you see, if you, when you have a number of a ratio of polynomials n by m, we can write it in any way, either n of s, m inverse of s. Okay, or you can write like this as m inverse of s, n of s. That's also possible. Okay, so if you consider this case, we say that this is the right coprime factor. Okay, n of s and m of s will be called the right coprime factor, whereas m tilde, n tilde, they are called the left coprime factor. Okay, so when you are given with a transfer function matrix T of S, then we can find 4 transfer matrices, either n m or m hat and n tilde. Okay, so that they are coprime. For example, suppose we have a transfer function matrix like this. Example, T of S equals S plus 2 by S plus 3 whole square, 0, 1 by S plus 1, 1 by S plus 1. Is this coprime or not? Can you tell? How can you find the right coprime factorization? Any idea? Tell me, any idea? How can you find right coprime factorization for this? There exists a right coprime factorization of T of S, which is nothing but N of S, what we write? N of S M inverses, such that so one example could be like this. M of S, you can take it to be like this. S plus 3 by S plus 2, 0, minus S plus 3 by S plus 2, 1. Okay, so you can see that they are all stable, right? The poles are in the left half of the S plane, right? So we can say that they belong to the space of stable proper rational transfer function. Where is that stable proper rational transfer function space? This is one possible example. Okay, and you can have another possible numerator like this: 1 by S plus 3, 0, 0, 1 by S plus 1. Okay, so where are the poles here? They are again in the left half of the S plane. That means they also belong to the stable proper rational transfer function matrices. Okay, so now you check whether you can find what is your x hat and y hat. What's the identity? X hat y hat into what? Mn must be equal to what? I. Okay, M we have taken M like this and N like this. So what can be one possible x hat and y hat? Can you find? What could be a possibility? Tell me. What's the condition? X hat and y hat should be stable, rational, proper transfer functions. Okay, it should be a rational function. So suppose I select x tilde of s as s plus 2 by s plus 3, 0, s plus 2 by s plus 3, and s plus 2 by s plus 3. Okay, suppose this is the x tilde that I am choosing. So does this belong to the RH infinity space? It belongs to, right? Why? Because all the elements are real, are rational and stable proper transfer functions. Is it not? S plus 3, pole is at minus 3. Here also minus 3. Here also pole is at minus 3. Okay, so they all belong to this RH infinity space, right? And what will be our corresponding y tilde of s? That can be 0, 0, 0, s plus 1 by s plus 3. So now you verify whether the identity holds good or not. What is the identity? This x tilde, where is that? This identity, Besart identity, whether it holds good or not, you just verify. If it holds good, then this M and N, they are right coprime. Just verify whether this identity is valid or not, just with these values of x tilde and y tilde. Please verify.
Sir, how do we find M and N just like that?
See, M and N actually, you see what this was our original transfer function. Okay, M and N must be suitably chosen. Okay, so that they are stable and they are in a rational function form. Okay, see here, is to find four transfer function matrices. Okay, in this thing. So your M and N should be stable, proper rational function. That's all. Okay. These coprime factors, they need not be unique actually. Okay. So here you are given our transfer function like this: s plus 2 by s plus 3 whole square, 0, 1 by s plus 1, 1 by s plus 1. So suitably you have to choose m and n such that they are stable, proper, rational function. That's all. Okay, that's all. This is just one example. There may be infinite possible examples. Say for example, you can take say instead of s plus 2, you can take here s plus 4 or s plus 5. That's also valid. So is it equal to I? Is this the holding good? It should, okay. Now definition. So always you may not be in a position to check this identity, okay? So there's an alternate definition. Two matrices M of S and N of S in RH infinity. What is RH infinity? It means the stable rational function space actually, okay? In RH infinity are right coprime. They are right coprime over RH infinity space if they have same number of columns, and if there exists matrices X tilde and Y tilde. Okay, so they should also be in the same space, stable and rational proper. Okay, Y of S in RH infinity such that X tilde of S M of S plus Y tilde of S N of S equal to I. Okay, so they are right coprime if they have the same number of columns and if there exists these matrices so that the Bezout identity is satisfied. Okay, then we say that the matrices M and N are right coprime. Okay, similarly, two matrices M tilde and N tilde in RH infinity are left coprime over RH infinity if they have same number of rows. And if there exists matrices X hat of S and Y, X of S and Y of S in RH infinity such that M tilde of S X of S plus N tilde of S Y of S equal to I. Okay, so if this condition is valid, then we say that M tilde and N tilde are left coprime. Okay, so this is how to check whether the matrices are coprime or not. Okay, so in robust control, we have seen many kinds of uncertainties. So mainly, all these things analysis are done for additive perturbation and multiplicative perturbation, right? So perturbations which are coprime perturbations are still untouched. Okay, and it's an open area of research. Okay, so we will stop here with this. And And what about your presentation? Only Chaitanya or someone had presented his that assignment. What about others? When are you going to present?